bringing you your news in the Webb City School District. From Purcell, Next City, Alba, Oronogo, Carterville, and beyond. The news team that you've grown to love and trust. It's time for another edition of Quarantine Tweets. With your host, Nathan Holstein. Weather with Amber Holstein. And sports with Brock Holstein. These are your tweets.
A fine how do you do to all tuning into this week's edition of Quarantine Tweets. I'm your host, Nathan Holstein, and these are your top stories of the week. The world begins to slowly open back up and in return to normal. And in the spirit of opening up, so will your lockers. The week of May 11th through the 15th, the junior high will be allowing families to come pick up their child's personal belongings from the school. Families will need to pull through the lane that is used for the buses in the big parking lot, which is on the northwest side of the building, and remain in their cars while the teachers walk inside and get their bag of items for them. Now, if you shared a locker, please coordinate. That means talk to the other person in your locker and make a plan, and determine who will pick up the belongings from the locker. We don't always know whose scrunchie or whose fidget spinner belongs to which one of you. So, make that happen. Good news! Those of you who pre-ordered yearbooks, you'll be able to pick up your yearbook at the same time that you pick up your locker belongings. So, not only will you be able to pick up your hoodies and your tech decks, you'll also be able to pick up a memento documenting the last 6.5 months of your junior high experience. But wait, there's more! If you are a slacker and waited to the last minute, or if you're like me and totally forgot about this whole yearbook thing until I just said it, you're in luck. We have a few extra. You can purchase those yearbooks for $40. We'll only be able to accept exact change, so please bring cash, no checks. Auditions for the talent show have been submitted, and let me tell you people, I feel pretty inferior after watching all the talent that resides within the walls of Webb City Junior High. Y'all are going to be like on the stages of Broadway and stuff like that. It's really impressive. Next week, we'll be airing a special edition and a final edition of Quarantine Tweets, where we'll be showcasing all those who were selected to perform in the talent show. It will be an episode that you really don't want to miss. Now, for those of you delinquents out there who are illegally harboring stolen goods from Webb City's LMC, the warden of the LMC, Mama H, has shown some serious mercy upon your souls and has forgiven your late fees. But there's a catch. You have to turn in your books. Please bring those books back to the junior high when you come to pick up your belongings from your locker. Seems logistic. Don't forget about the free lunches that are being provided every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at various locations across our school district. If you're not taking advantage of this, you're totally missing out. Last Friday was chicken leg day, and I just about caused a 6-car pileup when Brock pulled that succulent gift from the gods out of his goodie bag. I mean, we wrestled over it, and in the end, he won. Granted, he cheated. He bit me and took a big chunk out of my calf. It's healing up nicely, but I'll never do that again. Well, those are your top stories for the week. Now, let's send it over to Miss Broadus for your principles from the principal.
Hi, this is Miss Broadus with the principles from the principal. This week, I need to remind all of our incoming 8th graders that you need to have 2 shots for next year, Tdap and meningitis. You got a letter before spring break, and you'll probably get another one if you haven't completed those. So please make sure and get those finished. Thank you. Hope everybody has a great week going forward. We sure do miss you. Now back to the news desk with Mr. H.
Thank you, Mrs. Broadus. Your information is always helpful. Hey, let's check in with Mama H and have a look at the weather for the week.
Hello everyone, Mama H here to deliver the forecast for the upcoming week. Speaking of delivering, have you ever heard of the expression, don't kill the messenger? Well, if you haven't, that means don't harm the person who brings the information. It's not their fault that they are the ones who are tasked with delivering the good news. So with that said, I'm going to attempt to deliver the forecast in a way that is way more optimistic than the forecast itself. Hello everybody, my name is Mama H. I have got a forecast I'm sure that you will hate. It's supposed to rain all week, but that ain't all that bad. Just go and play some card games or just annoy your dad. Maybe build some Legos or maybe build a cake. Maybe build a new boat to use in a new lake. It's gonna rain all week, but please don't scream and shout. That's your weekly forecast. See y'all, I'm out. Bye.
I don't say this often, but I hope your predictions are more like our real meteorologists. Only 30% correct. I don't want to spend the next 5 days swimming to my mailbox. All right, now let's see what's happening in the world of sports. Oh, and by the way, after last week, I recovered just fine. Goodness gracious. Send it to Brock.
Breaking news! Sweet Sesame Lassie! I'm more pumped up than the early 90s pair of Reeboks right now. Sports are back, baby! Well, maybe not back, but the light at the end of the tunnel is growing. I'm just hoping that light isn't on the end of a train and I'm standing on the tracks. But I digress. Little League Baseball starts today. And y'all, I'm ready. Last week, I got the news and went out and hired a professional trainer to help me prepare for the upcoming season. But seriously, she's pretty intense. I'm pretty sure she can make those wrestling gymnast coaches curl up and cry like those adolescent schoolgirls with her intensity. Please don't tell her I said that. I live with her, and it'll just only make things worse for me. On the bright side, I'm pretty sure I'll be signing my pro contract at the end of the summer with her regimen. No pain, no gain, right? That's your sports update for the week. Now back to Mr. Holstein at the news desk.
Thank you, Brock. And I'm as excited about having baseball back as you are. But let's make sure your mom doesn't take it too far. You remember the last time she zoned out at baseball? Huh, that poor mom is still recovering from that tongue lashing she gave her on the other team. Ugh. Hey, let's send it to Mr. Derryberry to celebrate those individuals in the junior high who are having themselves a very merry Derryberry birthday this week.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Amani. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Mr. Holstein. We're back for another edition of A Very Merry Derryberry Birthday. Junior high students, we miss you so much. We hope you're staying safe and whenever you do. This week's birthdays are Grace Stump, Ivan Besario, Kari Davis, Chastity Drove, Jace Jones, Mark Beard, Dominic Cox, Hadley Lewis, Brant Storm, James Bass, Chayton Campbell, Riley Hinsky, Emma Hudson, Cade Weston, Kendall Weston, Tucker Drury, Charity Goodson, Michaela Pendergraft, Brianna Pugh, and Alexia Gilbert. This week's celebrity birthday was an inspiration to me, one of my favorite childhood heroes, Tony Hawk. Happy birthday, Tony. And happy birthday to all you junior high students. Now, this week's sports that Mr. Derryberry is missing comes back to college football, and I have the same special guest as last week to help me do this. So Miles, come on up here. All right, as you can see, we love Florida Gator football. Okay, we got our pivot here. He's got his hat. He's got his Gators golf cover. We love the Florida Gators. Chomp chomp. Right now. And our next sport team is the Missouri Tigers. From football to basketball, they're my favorite college team. 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 Chomp, chomp. Mr. Holstein, back to you.
Well, that's all the announcements we have for you this week. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week for a very special and final edition of Quarantine Tweets. Stay safe and fly high, Cardinals.